Hmm. Hi, I'll this video is regarding a quick recap of Design Act. I hope this video is helpful for you. I thought it is useful. Let's see. So before start, what I would like to say is section 1, 2, I will keep it aside because that need to be by hearted. I will not discuss anything there, but we will start from section number 3. So let's talk about controller. So the keyword is controller. Here, the keywords what I am using is mentioned will be useful for us to remember what the section is related, right? So here, section number 3 is controller. Now you see what controller section talks about. Section number 3 and other officers are appointed by the central government, and the central government can do from the scratch of any examination and any design he can do it. That's what section 3 talks about. Now section 4 is keyword is OPDS. I have mentioned this is O is for originality, P is for published, D is for design distinguishability, significantly distinguishable, and S is for scandalous matter in your design. If it is there, then they are under these conditions, it can be rejected. That's what the section talks about. Now, section number 5. It is related to the application. That means we need to submit form number 5 if we have to get the design. Then the supporting rules are 11 and 12. Let's see what 11 says. The 11 says that you can file application in multiple subclasses of one class. Multiple applications will have to be filed and the date of all will be given. If you do multiple applications in the same class for the same design, if you register for different classes, then in that case, there will be different date of application. Different classes and different date of application. That's what it says. And form number 1 will be applied. And rule number 21 is written that if you see any incompleteness in your application, the controller will suggest to complete the incompleteness. And if he observes that there are only 2 views are given, he will ask you to give 7 views. If you have given extra views, he may ask for amendment to remove that extra views which are unnecessary. Then for doing these kind of corrections, he will give 6 months for the applicant to complete the incompleteness. If you fail to do it, then the application within 6 months, then the application is considered abandoned. Okay. The fee requirement for form 1 is 1,000 rupees and 6 months from the date of application. Remember that. Okay. Section number 6 here I have mentioned refuse or invalidation. Okay. So it talks about whether your application can not be refused or invalidated. There are certain conditions which can happen. If your design was already published, let's say that conventional application, we will come back to that in section 44. In that case, there will be prior publication by the same author, the inventor or applicant. He might have published in another country and he wanted to enter in India. Then that is considered as his own design, and there is a time limit for him, like 6 months he need to enter in India. Then this is not considered as an anticipation because it is his own design. That is logically makes sense, right? Then because it was published in India, it will not be validated. Rule number 11 is the same. You can file multiple applications for the same class. The date of application will be same for all. That is what we discussed, right? Section number 7 talks about publication. If I talk about publication, then rule number 22 comes in it, and it is published in official gazette. Okay, your application is published in official gazette month. That means it is already registered, right? So in that registration, what will enter is name, address, class, and best view of that particular design will be published. Now, section number 8, it talks about substitution. The keyword is substitution. Now, what is substitution? Let's say if there is more than, okay, if in case deceased person, legal representative is substituted. If there is more than one owner, then everyone's consent will be taken to substitute anyone. Okay. If you have any court order or a controller decision is pending or is in written, that you can substitute in not pending. If it is the decision came from controller or the court, then also you can give a substitution of this application. Okay. For substitution, what we need to give is form number 2 and with a fee of 500 rupees. Here, rule number 16 is also applicable, which says that when more than one owner is there, then there is a dispute between them. If there is a dispute between them, then rule number 16 says to resolve the dispute that if there is a notarized copy of any agreement is there or not, it will check. Okay. Section number 9 talks about certificate of design. Once your design is registered, you will need a certificate of registration, right? It to show somewhere. That is one possibility. But another possibility is you might have lost it. In that case, you have to give them a statement saying that what happened to the earlier certificate. Then the if and once the process is done, then patent office will give you that certification copy. But how they will send it? They will send it in a sealed document. They will post it. Okay. In form 16 is also has 500 rupees that you have to give for getting the certificate. Okay. Here the rule applicable is 30 and 31. Rule 30 says that all details of the register will be saved digitally. This we are talking about section number 10. Okay. Now section number 10, it is about register. So this register has 30 and 31. 30 talks about the digitally saved data. If that is lost, the saved data is lost, the backup data, whatever is there, that is considered as authentic and that is a final. If there is any dispute, they will check in the duplicate register. Okay. Rule number 31 says that if you want to alter the name or address and address, then file form number 22. That's what it says. Now, form number 22, if you submit, you have to pay along with it 200 rupees. And you can alter the name and address. In the same rule, it is said that 23, that is, if you want to add 2 more addresses, then you can do it by filing form number 23, which also costs 200 rupees. Okay. Now here form number 22 is written, but 23 is also included in rule number 31. There is another form, form number 24, which is just coming amendment similar to the Patent Act, where form number 28 we will use for the what entities, small entities and the startup. Similarly, here they have included for small entities and educational to be added or mentioned. Now, section number 11 talks about term of the design. Now, generally we know that 10 years is once granted, you will get 10 years cover. But if you want additional 5 years, then you have to file request with form number 3. Okay. And along with that, you have to pay 2000 rupees before 10 years. If you fail to do it before 10 years, then your design will lapse. So that is a dangerous situation. But what happens if design lapsed is you can request for restoration of lapsed design. That can be done by using form number 4. Now, if you submit form number 4 within 1 year from the lapsed date, then you can do restoration. Okay. But what are the conditions under which you can do it? There are 2 conditions. One is the application restoration must be filed within 1 year from lapsed date. Example, 10th year, you need to file form number 4 during 11th year within 1 year of the lapse. Okay. That's what it talks about. Okay. Now, I was telling about how to restore it. Right? The process here, it takes about form number restore lapse to the this thing. You can do a restoration, but procedure is given in the section number 13. Now, what section number 13 talks about is applicable rules section number 13 and applicable rules are 24 and 25. Here what you can do is it gives you a procedure to evaluate reasons for the lapse. Is the applicant failed to do unintentionally or undue delay has happened, that's why he could not do it. If he can do justify his actions, then post approval form number 3 for extension he need to submit along with the fee of form number 3 plus additional fee 1000 rupees he need to pay. Okay, and within 1 month of approval he need to do, then publication will happen. There is the time limit for the publication within 1 month is for the publication from the date and 1 month from the approval. These two are there in the time limits. Now let's see what section number 14 says. It says that during the lapse period, okay, we have seen there is a lapse and we know how to restore it. Now, what happens between that period is discussed in 14, where the design proprietor or the applicant, he will not have any rights on the uh, restoration. So we need to make sure that lapse will not happen if you want to do it. So because damages are not covered under section 14, says to one here design lapse in okay. I think rest I will talk in the next video.